welcome back to the shit show. Glad you came.
We're so glad you're here.
It's so awkward. Like, every one of these videos does that, and it's like, please like and subscribe. Like, we're trying to spread some news.
Let us know what you want to hear.
It's like, yes, do, but it's so awkward to ask for it, so just do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Be assertive with it. Maybe we should get into assertive communication at some point. Like, put out there what you want. It's interesting what happens when you put into the world what you're looking for. So.
Exactly. Exactly. So we were talking about, like, how do we do this? Is it a Tonight Show sort of like talk show, or we don't care. But we came up with some talking points that we're going to take off the top. And today's topic is the power of help me understand.
You're going to have to help me understand that, because... What do you mean help me understand?
Well, it was a topic of conversation that came up a lot this week for me. The idea of, instead of getting to that place where you become defensive and angry, choosing to be curious and take that standpoint, and in relationship talk about the reason why you're connecting with somebody is really looking for understanding, looking for awareness, looking for connection with another person. And so asking the question, help me understand, is more about not I am trying to defend myself, but it's more about I really want to know your position. I really want to know what is going on with you, because you are intentionally choosing to connect with me, and that is the important piece, rather than whatever it is that you're sending me and that you're using to communicate with me. I am looking more for, you're trying to convey a message, and perhaps that is the important piece.
Mm-hmm. And so it bridges for me, like what you're saying right there, bridges for me back into last week when we were talking about that idea of, shoot, I just lost it. Just because somebody says something in a really shitty way doesn't mean that there isn't something important to be heard underneath it. And so it bridges back into that. And so when you have that appetite to actually truly understand somebody else's position, and you're seeking for the connection, the disagreement moves into the background, right? Because if I understand you and I can see you, that would get into primary emotions too, if you wanted to go that direction. But
totally.
But inside of that, like, that's where you move back, and your anger moves back to the back of your brain where it is, and you start processing through your frontal lobe, and in your more intellectual brain, your executive functioning, just understanding better. So yeah, no, that makes pretty much sense. I always use it. I always, and there's superlatives from last week if you guys remember. The power of help me understand. I say, don't judge it, understand it. And if you come judging me, then we're off on the wrong foot, right? You're telling me why what I'm thinking and feeling doesn't matter to you or isn't important enough to you. You're telling me why I'm wrong or why you don't believe what I believe, which I'm not asking you to believe what I believe. I'm just asking you to hear what I'm saying and have some compassion and empathy, I guess. This always turns serious. I want it to be fun.
Well, how do we make this more fun?
I don't know. We need more participation.
Yeah, I'm wondering what you guys think.
Yeah.
What you wonder about. Like, what you're thinking about in terms of what it's like for you when you were approached with something. How do you deal with that?
How is what we are talking about right now seen in your own world, right? Because we're talking like this because, as you go back to our very first video, we were talking about how themes continually come up, right? And ideas continually come up. And the idea of why we wanted to put this out there is because if people can listen and glean information off of what we're saying, and that's a benefit to the world, why not do it, right? As stupid as we look, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But because what we have absolutely works. I mean, that's why we have success in our careers. That's why we have built what we built.
So let's come up with a role play or an example of where help me understand might be more effective than the standard practice of defending self or becoming to have that rebuttal, that is that much better.
The one upper, the tit for
Oh,
tat
the one
argue.
on yeah,
Tit
exactly.
tat, you're in a tit for tat conversation, like step
Mhm.
out. I mean, I really like tit for tat conversations just for the sheer fact of arguing because I like to argue. But no, that's breakdown inside of
wrong.
communication. What'd you say? Don't judge me. Don't
It's
judge
wrong.
me. You're supposed
No,
to
it's
say, help me understand.
disrespectful.
You're supposed to help me understand. Stop it right
No,
now.
it's wrong. It's disrespectful. And the help me understand helps folks with trying not to be disrespectful.
Mhm.
Where if you come to me with example, Heather, when you
when you
oh,
when you tell me what I'm doing is wrong, it makes me want to cry.
And then I respond to you with, well, help me understand what that's like for you versus you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You should just figure it out.
Yeah, you shouldn't have screwed up in the first place.
You shouldn't have screwed up in the first place.
Who says I ever screwed
Exactly.
up? Who says I ever screwed up, Heather?
I do.
I know. And it hurts and I go home and cry. Sorry. Too many inside jokes.
Too many. The help me understand is you're coming to me with something that I want to validate. If I want the relationship
Sure.
to be maintained, if I want to
Ooh.
strengthen what we have between the two of us and the connection.
That's really good because if I want, and that's where don't think and feel for me comes in because your verbiage is then I go in defensive because I don't feel like that's what you want because you don't want to hear me, you don't want to talk, you don't want this relationship. Damn it.
So in a lot of ways, the help me understand is absolutely validating that you are important to me. You are significant to me, and what you say means something to me.
Yep. I think that's the heart of help me understand. What you're saying matters to me, and I care to listen to you because I care about you. It's not about right or wrong. It's about what you're going through, what you're experiencing. That matters most to me because I care about you. And so just share with me what that experience is, and we will be a better friend, a better couple, a better business partner, a better whatever it is because we are then acting authentically and more genuinely. We feel free to be like, hey, this is kind of what's going on. We're not repressing feelings. We're not saying, is it okay if I say this or I don't say this? We're not tippy-toeing around things. It's just like, hey, this is what's coming up for me. And holy crap, you always hear me no matter how I come. Not no matter how I come, but I come as I am, and that's accepted, and that's brilliant. Fair enough.
That is fair enough.
So inside of that, let's see. Do we have any other topics, or do we have time for one more topic? Because
well, I think we do, but I think we've exhausted the help me understand, or not exhausted. We could go on and on about this, but I think what we're trying to summarize with this is using the help me understand, or in communication, is coming with the understanding that there is a foundational premise that I am committed to you. I want the connection with you. I want to communicate. I want to hear what you have to say. And what you have to say is valid. When I ask you, help me understand, it's with all of those priorities in place that will help you be open to hearing from that person's position, and then it has no bearing on whether it's about you or them. It is just a clarification on what that person's position is.
Yeah. And I can see that, and I can see it. I can see it. I can respect it. I don't have to agree with it, but at least I know where you're standing, and from there, it's a whole lot easier to move forward in harmony. That's I don't like that.
Well, if you don't see it as an attack, if you see it as simply this is someone's way of expressing their position, then they own that. And I don't have to accept that, embrace that, or make it mine. That I can see it as just that. They're expressing of self, and I can choose to see and know and understand. And if I choose to embrace it, that's my choice. It gives me a lot of power and control.
Yeah, and we could, man, as we continue to talk, there's flashbulb words for me that pop up, and like I can choose to, like, anyways, we can go on, and so we're trying this out, people. So at the end of it, having feedback does help, because this is just our brains kind of as we see it, and we're saying, hey, what might be helpful to the public at large. And so if you have questions, anything, you feel free to email us at theshitshowrocks. Or at gmail.com, right? What's our email address?
Yeah.
Theshitshowrocks@gmail.com, because the email address is awesome.
Yeah, or comment below.
Or
For
comment
sure.
below, because with that feedback, then we can put it out there, and if you watch again, perhaps that will be the answer. And we've gotten a like. We've
Or
gotten
two.
a like or two. We've gotten some feedback from people that are watching, maybe not liking, but yeah, throw that out there, because if it can be more catered to you, that would be amazing, I think. If you don't, that's okay too.
Yeah. Have a great one. I can't make it
Pause
stop.
the damn camera.